What's up, guys? Bajheera here. So for this video, I'm going to be bringing you guys a look at my classic warrior, who is now level 55, so we're getting there. We're knocking out about 1 level per day these days, and that might start slowing down since we're approaching 60. But so far, so good. We put together a few new pieces of loot, got a few more talents, may end up doing some respecking here pretty soon because I've been doing a fair amount of tanking in dungeons, but I still want to be able to do some world PvP. But that's kind of the main decision that I'm sort of faced with moving forward. But we'll worry about that later. Let's take a look at where we're at right now. So, in terms of my gear, made some upgrades. So the Golem Skull Helmet came from BRD. I think it dropped off of Phalanx, but it can also drop off of a couple bosses in BRD. The Lifeblood Amulet, I'm pretty sure, comes off of the first boss in Zul'Farrak. The Slam Shot Shoulders, I'm pretty sure these dropped off of one of the Ogres, like the Ogre boss in BRD. The Emperor's New Cape is 16 stamina on this thing, which is pretty cool. This dropped off of the Emperor, the last boss of BRD. Got this thing, this plate chest piece with once again some strength, stamina, agility on there. This dropped off of one of the the little like what are they called? This, it's not the spider boss, but like the arachnid kind of weird boss thing, the Anub Shia. You know what I'm talking about? Those little creepy spider-looking guys. This dropped off of the arena boss from there. These things, the Stone Princess bracers, I'm wearing them because they have stamina, but also a lot of attack power. The intellect, I don't really need that, and they're male, so we're probably going to be getting an upgrade from these at some point. But those worked out pretty okay. The Vice Grips of the Bear, these came from the first boss of Zul'Farrak. This is just a green belt that I got from Zul'Farrak as well, so we're going to need some upgrades for sure. This is one of those things. Try to find us a nice dungeon blue with that. The Elemental Rock Ridge leggings, I think these dropped off of Princess from Maradon, so there's a lot of dungeon loot that we're gonna have to farm up, but we've got a few pieces that are working okay. I definitely need some new boots. I think we're running a lot of lower Blackrock Spire right now, so those will be something that we want to get some boots off of there. I think either come off lower Blackrock Spire or BRD. Hopefully we can find something like that. We do have a nice epic ring. One of my guildies found this and wanted me to have it. He got it for pretty cheap, but apparently it sells for quite a lot, so we're gonna hold on to this piece of loot. It's armor. On use effect is a 30-minute cooldown, but it's still pretty nice, and it's got a lot of stamina, a little bit of spirit, so we'll rock this unless we find something better, but definitely don't mind having this for now. The Blackstone Ring is like best in slot for DPS. I don't know if it's great for tanking, but I will take an improved chance to hit anytime, so definitely excited about that. We got the Force of Will trinket, which is pretty cool. This drops off of the last boss of BRD, the Emperor. A nice little tanking trinket. I still want the Hand of Justice, though, the one that gives you like a chance to get an extra attack. So like I said, we're running Blackrock Spire a lot right now because I think it's a little bit better XP and also good loot. But we're gonna have to be making some trips back to BRD to get some particularly cool trinkets. But the Force of Will is fun. I just hit 55 yesterday, so I can finally equip this thing, the shoulders, and the cloak. So today should be pretty fun. Tanking, we do have increased defense on this item and on this item, so that'll help me out a little bit. That's almost like 3 levels of defense, so that's kind of cool. Mark of the Chosen, this is a quest trinket that came from doing a quest line in Maradon. You find an NPC at the bottom of the zone talking about how he wants to unite the tribes, and so you go in there and you have to speak to and kill a bunch of the ghostly Khan guys, and then bring the 5 things back to him and create an item, and then he gives you this, which is a 2% chance when struck in combat of increasing all stats by 25. So that's pretty nice. 25 stats is like that's like a pretty beefy piece of gear, right? So this is 21 stamina. This is 18 strength. You know, finding that amount of stats on a piece of gear is pretty good, and this one gives you all of your stats up by 25. So that's nice, and it's for a whole minute. So usually this is like up all the time when you're in a dungeon, which is cool. So I had a couple different weapons along the way. This is the one I have right now, though. So I think after I got the Bone Biter, I went and got the Rock Pounder from Uldaman. And then after the Rock Pounder, we got Lord Alexander's Battle Axe. That's another BOE that somebody found for super cheap and wanted me to have, so I'm very grateful for that. But then we got the Dreadforge Retaliator finally from the last boss of BRD. So this is going to be a good weapon for a little while. It's 3.7 weapon speed, so it's nice and slow. Does 50.5 DPS. We have it enchanted with weapon damage, but it increases your chance to parry an attack by 1%, which is not huge, but I've actually just been tanking with the two-hander out, so that's fine. Once again, it improves your chance to crit, so that combined with axe specialization has given me a lot of increased crit, and then there's also some attack power on it. But I want to show you another item that dropped off of BRD, or sorry, lower Blackrock Spire. It might be in my bank right now. Yeah, it looks like I banked it. But it's a 4.0 weapon speed chopper. This thing right here, it looks like a razor blade. It's super cool, but it doesn't do as much DPS as my other one-hander, or sorry, my other two-hander. But it's 4.0 weapon speed and has a chance to put a bleed on a target. So the top end damage on this thing is insane. 239 top end. So that's the kind of thing that I'd probably want to enchant and try to use out in PvP. Even if I'm still going to use the Dreadforge Retaliator for PvE, for like tanking and stuff. But that's just another option that I've got, which is really, really fun. It's in my bank right now though, so can't show it to you, but that's what it is. Very cool that we had that drop. So, and then we just have like a gun from Uldaman, but we're gonna need to get the crossbow from Lower Blackrock Spire. We're gonna be farming that today, because that crossbow once again is one that gives me hit. It's off of this guy, but he keeps dropping these true aim things, which are great for hunters, but not for me. We want the Black Crow. Just improves your chance to hit, gives you like a teeny tiny bit of agility, but that's what we want. This other thing isn't too bad. The 22 attack power is not too bad, but once again, I think hit is just worth so much. So we're gonna try to get our hands on that thing, as well as some other items. But in terms of talents, my talents, I'm still pretty much just rocking the same talent. I haven't done any respecking at all. We're just like full arms, except for instead of 1 point in improved hamstring, we put 2 points in improved charge. That was just like a leveling choice. I wanted to improve charge early to get some rage on pulls, and then we went down into deep wounds and impale later on instead of early on. So, but then we have mortal strike, and we're just putting points into the fury tree. 5 points cruelty, 5 points booming voice, piercing howl. I'm gonna put 5 points into this. I guess maybe 1 point. No, 1 more point in this, and then we can start putting points into enrage. Is kind of the idea there. So it's gonna be a situation where this is definitely more like a PvP spec and not a tanking spec. So what I'm thinking is I might end up doing some sort of really funky dungeon tanking build, where I go like 5 points in shield specialization. I could either do 5 points in armor, or I could do 5 points in iron will, which is more like a PvP choice. But it's probably better to just do like armor, or even just do improved blood rage and a little bit of armor, or something like that, right? But then I want to go into defiance, so we're gonna put points into here for sure. Maybe sprinkle some points around, either in full armor, maybe a little bit of blood rage. But then we're gonna put 5 points in defiance. And I might just say that's enough in the prot tree, and then go over and get some fury stuff. Now there's a lot of really cool builds around that, like fury tanking. I know that Asmon has been showing that off in his stream after learning about it from Skarm, I believe. So there's definitely some potential for that. I don't have the gear for that though, so I think you need a lot of gear to make that work. It could still be fun, but I think I want to try to just get like some threat generation from the prot tree, but not go too much into prot, and then just go into fury and start grabbing cruelty. Start grabbing Unbridled Wrath to either generate more rage, or we could go to Demo Shout to further debuff targets with Demo Shout. The rage would be kind of fun, because I feel like for tanking, like one of the things that I need is I need to be able to generate rage to do damage to hold threat. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for that. And then we could even go Piercing Hell. We could even put points in a Blood Craze, since, you know, any healing might help. I don't think it does a whole lot as a tank, so it might be worthless even as a tank, but we could put Improved Battle Shout. We could do things like Enrage. And having Enrage as a tank could be hilarious. So then that's like 20 points total in Fury. We might not need a whole lot more points in Fury, but I think Flurry would be a lot of fun too. So we can either put 20 points in Fury, or 25 points in Fury. Then we can think about putting some points into Arms at some point, or we could go back into Prot for some stuff. So I have some talent choices to make here. Ooh, reducing the cost of Sunder would be nice too. So there's a lot of fun stuff. Stunning with a Revenge would be fun too. There's a lot of cool stuff. But basically, I think that's what I'm going to end up doing, is not too deep of a Prot build, but get at least deep enough into Prot to get some shield specialization and defiance, and then start trying to get some rage generation and an enrage for damage, and maybe even flurry to just do damage as prot, because you're not going to be like a whole lot less tanky going all the way down here. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's not a big deal. The main thing I want is I want rage generation to do damage, to deal threat, or to gain threat. And I love the arms tree, and the thing about it is I was thinking also about just doing like full arms, no fury, and then just going into Defiance with like arms PvP build, which could be kind of fun, because then I could still do world PvP. But it seems like right now, for leveling at least, I definitely have been doing a lot of dungeons, and trying to world PvP against like 2060s camping outside of the dungeon entrance is not going to be super effective no matter what my build is. So I think that we might end up changing over to something like I was talking about earlier. But once I do that, I'll make another video for you. This is what I've been doing so far. Professions are looking good, just to share that with you guys. I haven't really been doing too crazy on professions. My skinning's pretty good. Mining needs to catch up. Cooking can now be leveled up further, which I need to make some food. I'm like all out of food. First aid is maxed out. And everything else is just kind of just like random, like, you know, weapon abilities. But all in all, that's kind of where we're looking right now. Basically, kind of entering into that late leveling grind where we have some quests to do if we wanted to. But dungeons are definitely a good option because we're going to be in those dungeons farming the gear anyway, so you may as well be farming while I get some XP, even if it's just like a little bit tougher to grind that out. But I still have a lot of questing zones to explore. We still have like everything in the Burning Steppes to do. We have everything in Searing Gorge to do. I guess I did the opposite, right? Here's Burning Steppes, but Burning Steppes is and then here's Searing Gorge. I have all those to do. We still have like the Blasted Lands. There are some quests to do, so I could either come back and do those when I'm max level for gold, or I could try to wrap up and wipe up all the green quests just for some XP. But right now, when we have a group, dungeon farming is the goal, to get that loot, to get that XP, and to kind of creep our way up to 60. But we're about to start off the stream for another session of grinding, but I definitely want to make this video before we do. Character's going good. Everything's been fun so far. We got some decisions to make in terms of our progression path forward, but all in all, having a blast. I hope you guys are enjoying your classic adventures, or at least the classic videos, because we got plenty more to come. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Peace!